to match 1 of this Kaladesh Friendly Draft League. We won the die roll, so we'd be on the play. This would be a great hand with 1 or 2 more lands, but unfortunately a 1 land hand is just not keepable. Unfortunate again, we have 1 land. This, I think, again is a mulligan. Bad breaks here. And funnily enough, our most keepable hand thus far. Hunt the Week I don't think is good enough to keep on top. We'll go ahead and play a Forest and pass the turn. Unfortunate that we had to mulligan so much there at the beginning. Two swamps for our opponent and no plays. So let's attack first. Play a swamp and pass the turn. Third land for our opponent. And Prakata Pillarbug. Okay, so depending on what we draw, we can Nature's Way of the Pillarbug. However, we drew Thriving Rhino. So this turn, we play Thriving Rhino, put a counter on Long Tusk Cub, and attack through the Prakata Pillarbug is probably our best play. We'll swing first to see if they block. Much happier to trade. And we'll put a +1/+1 counter on anyways, just because we do have an extra and we're getting 2 more energy. Our second color for our opponent plays a mountain. Our plan next turn is to swing with both creatures. But do we want to Nature's Way away the Prakata Pillarbug? So with 4 open mana here, I'm reluctant to block since I'm kind of on the beatdown plan, so I would rather just take the 2 damage. Okay, gives it lifelink. Depending on what they play here, I believe the play is... Okay, so they're going to Welding Sparks away the Thriving Rhino, which means next turn I would like to Nature's Way, targeting Long Tusk Cub and Prakata Pillarbug. Fairgrounds Trumpeter. This to me seems like a better plan, because we can make that a 3/3 by the end of turn, so that's what we're going to do. Leaving up Nature's Way next turn or for a better creature than Prakata Pillarbug just seems like a better plan. So next turn we have Long Tusk Cub, which can be up to a 6/6. Fairgrounds Trumpeter will be a 4/4 at the end of turn, and we do have Nature's Way to clear out either a blocker or the Prakata Pillarbug. Gonti, Lord of Luxury. We have one of those ourselves. So Gonti is a better target for Nature's Way than Prakata Pillarbug, so that's what we're going to target. So we target Long Tusk Cub and Gonti, and then attack with both. The opponent is going to gain 2 life by blocking and lose both creatures, or they leave Prakata Pillarbug back. With one black mana open, I don't believe that there is any combat trick that can blow us out, so we're going to Nature's Way, targeting Longtusk Cub and Gonti. Giving it Vigilance and Trample. No blocks, so we're going to put a +1/+1 counter on twice. Putting the opponent at 4 and putting them in a really bad position. So we do have Rush of Vitality for next turn. Doomed Operative has Death Touch. But luckily, Rush of Vitality protects against Death Touch, so I think here we attack with both creatures, leaving up Rush of Vitality. Both of these are lethal. So we do get blown out here by a removal spell. So double Rush of Vitality. One from us, one from the opponent. So we're going to put another +1/+1 counter on, so that they both grow. And then next turn we drop Fabrication Module, and at that point hope to draw a land. Ambitious Aetherborn puts out a couple blockers. Another Fairgrounds Trumpeter. So if we attack with both creatures, they have to double trade. Or do we just put out the Fabrication Module? Death Touch makes this slightly awkward. So let's play out the Fabrication Module and pass the turn. We're in a position to wait here because if we draw lands and can remove the Death Toucher, it becomes a much different game for us. Another Prakata Pillarbug. Servant of the Conduit. They played our own Servant of the Conduit from Gonti. Lawless Broker. Do we play Lawless Broker or do we play the Fairgrounds Trumpeter? Fairgrounds Trumpeter seems like the better play here because if we're able to start putting +1/+1 counters on things, the Fairgrounds Trumpeter just grows. So let's go ahead and do that. And pass the turn. Foundry Inspector from the opponent, making their Prakata Pillarbug bigger and the Servo bigger. Oh, excuse me. This was not Chief of the Foundry, but instead Foundry Inspector, making artifacts cost less. Durable Handicraft. Not exactly the time for that anymore. This time we play out the Lawless Broker and just really hope to gum up the ground. Doomed Operative doing work here. Okay, sure. Wayward Giant from the opponent. Doesn't change our plan. We still want to just gum up the ground. We have good blockers. And a Renegade Freighter makes it a little different for us in that we can probably start attacking next turn. Renegade Freighter will trade for 2 creatures, or for the Wayward Giant. Swamp. Does that change the plan? So we can give something a +1/+1 counter, which grows Fairgrounds Trumpeter. So the question is, do we want to put a +1/+1 counter on Renegade Freighter? Does it have to already have one on it? It does not. That is not the module that this is. So if we activate Renegade Freighter with Lawless Broker, and then put a +1/+1 counter on it, it then has to trade for 2 of their creatures. And they do have up some mana with 1 card in hand. So let's play the land, activate Renegade Freighter, and put a +1/+1 counter on it. Swing with the Renegade Freighter. It's now a 6/5 and trades for at least 2 creatures. That works for us. Now if we draw a land, we have Tidy Conclusion, which can get rid of their Death Toucher. Opponent looks to be a little flooded, so we drew the land. Okay, if we Tidy Conclusion away the Doomed Operative, we gain 1 life, and if we attack with everything, Long Tusk Cub will trade for 2, 5. Let's see, 7 here. Instead, if we put another +1/+1 counter on it, I think what we do is we play the land and we pass the turn. Then at the end of next turn, we Tidy Conclusion away the Doomed Operative, or if they play something huge, that's when we get rid of it. No plays from the opponent. So let's Tidy Conclusion away the Doomed Operative. Drew another land. So now if we attack with everything, let's just attack with Long Tusk Cub. play the Durable Handicraft first and pass the turn. We're under no pressure here. We might as well just wait, because we can just put a bunch of +1/+1 counters on everything next turn. Fairgrounds Trumpeter will also grow. Okay, Pyrohelix away, sure. Blossoming Defense. If we attack with both, we can make this up to an 11/11. Do they even have 11 power out? 7, 10. They do. They have 13 power on the board. But they would have to put literally every creature in front of it. Let's attack with both and see how the opponent blocks. So both of these are lethal if either goes unblocked. But the opponent doesn't know that. So putting 10 power on the Fairgrounds Trumpeter. Putting 9 power on the Fairgrounds Trumpeter. We can make it a 9/9. So if the opponent gains 2 life here, we can still grow this. I think this is okay. So let's put the giant first. Actually, let's kill 2 creatures. That's probably the best plan. So let's do that. Gives it lifelink, so we're going to put a +1/+1 counter here. Now making this not quite lethal. Okay, so misplayed there. Could have played the Blossoming Defense to win. However, I didn't want to play into a removal spell there and lose Blossoming Defense as well. Another forest. So let's attack with the Long Tusk Cub. They block with the Servo. We play a land and pass the turn. So the plan here is to just continue growing the Long Tusk Cub, since we have nowhere else to put our mana. Attacking with both. So that indicates to me that they have another creature or a removal spell. Oval Chase Daredevil. Okay. Really like to draw a spell here. Narnum Cobra. Okay. So if we attack with Long Tusk Cub, we're taking another 8 next turn. Perhaps we just pass the turn and block? Or do we continue to apply pressure? We're going to take 4 from Menace next turn no matter what. Unless we leave back both creatures. Then we take 8. I think we just stick with the safe play here and pass the turn. Gearper Guide. Okay, unfortunately doesn't stop anything from blocking on their side from blocking, since they don't have any creatures with power 2 or less. Would have been great a couple turns ago. And let's see. If we attack with the Narnim Cobra, it is also lethal and can kill anything on their side. Let's just pass the turn. Had I left up 2 green mana, it would have been a little better, since I could leave up both the Blossoming Defense and the ability to give Narnim Cobra Death Touch. Inventor's Goggles. I don't think that changes anything for us. Riparian Tiger. That was a pretty good draw, because it means next turn we're in a decent position to attack. Because we can give it trample. So next turn, we spend energy to give the Riparian Tiger trample, and we attack with everything. Let's see what the Scry gets us. Don't want to land, we'll put that on the bottom. Subtle Strike is also a good draw for us, so let's... If we swing with everything, the opponent is at 1. We have the ability to put a +1/+1 counter on it, another +1/+1 counter, and Blossoming Defense, plus make Long Tusk Cub huge. All of our creatures are lethal. Let's attack. So the opponent has to put at least 8 toughness on Riparian Tiger, or it's lethal. So the opponent is actually dead on board. Okay, opponent scoops it up. So black-red, lots of artifacts, some combat tricks. They also had a Gonti. The question is, do I want to bring in an Appetite for the Unnatural? We did see a lot of artifacts, but what do we take out for it? Don't really want to take out any creatures. We could take out the Durable Handicraft, but that just gives us a place to spend our mana in the late game. Let's take out Durable Handicraft for Appetite for the Unnatural and see how that goes. Okay, this is a great opening hand. Gear per guide for the draw for the turn. So next turn, Servant of the Conduit and play Fabrication Module if we're not under pressure, or Thriving Rhino if we seem to be under pressure. Because if we play Fabrication Module first, then Thriving Rhino enters the battlefield and gets us a +1/+1 counter. Immediately removed by Chandra's Pyrohelix. Brazen Scourge. Does that make us want to play the Thriving Rhino? Thriving Rhino doesn't block it well. So we're going to take the 3 damage anyways, because we don't want to lose our creature. Make them either burn a removal spell. We're not going to just block it. So let's play the Fabrication Module this turn, and follow it up with a Thriving Rhino next turn. Take our beats from Brazen Scourge. Oval Chase drags Daredevil, not Dragster. So let's play Thriving Rhino. Gain some energy, get a +1/+1 counter, and pass the turn. Let's take the 4 damage here and go down to 10. This to me indicates, by them not attacking with Brazen Scourge, indicates to me that they do not have a combat trick. Another Oval Chase Daredevil. Pima Outrider. That's a good draw. So the question is, do we get Renegade Freighter out there, or do we just play the Pima Outrider? Since we can't play 2 things this turn, might as well play Pima Outrider and then set up next turn to play Renegade Freighter and Gear per Guide. Do we make it a 4/4? This already blocks favorably, and we have then, I think we just make the servo since we intend to trade here. Does this return to your hand? Yes. So we intend to trade here. Again, our opponent indicating to us that they do not have a combat trick. And next turn, we play both Renegade Freighter and Gear per Guide. Long Tusk Cub. Does that change the plan? Actually, it might. Because we can make it a 5/5 if we leave up mana. So let's do that. And let's pass the turn. Because now we can use Fabrication Module to gain energy, put a +1/+1 counter on Long Tusk Cub, and spend the energy that we already have to make it a 5/5, which blocks Oval Chase Daredevil well, or favorably. Let's see if we've maybe turned this game. It's been all pressure from the opponent this game. Opponent plays a Lawless Broker. No attacks. So we're pretty certain now that the opponent does not have a combat trick. And let's put that +1/+1 counter on the Long Tusk Cub. Scrap Heap Scrounger. So in order to best use our mana, we should probably play both the Renegade Freighter and the Ghirapur Guide, since now our Long Tusk Cub does block favorably. And then we are set up for blockers and can probably start attacking in the next turn. Let's do that. Next turn, we can play the Scrap Heap Scrounger and crew the Renegade Freighter. And also leave up the possibility of putting a +1/+1 counter on something. Eager Construct allowing us to scry. And they return their Oval Chase Daredevil to their hand. So at this point, we're going to keep probably any spell on top. Is Narnim Cobra good enough? I think the answer is yes, because this is turning into a match of attrition, and it blocks Oval Chase Daredevil. So let's play the Scrap Heap Scrounger. Crew the Renegade Freighter, and attack for 5. No blocks. So in that case, let's play the Narnim Cobra and pass the turn. Chief of the Foundry. Swinging all out. Dealing 1 to me. So let's block here, Narnim Cobra here, chump with the servo in front of the Eager Construct, put Long Tusk Cub on Prakata Pillarbug, and chump with, or have Ghirapur Guide trade with the Spireside Infiltrator, and see how that goes. Prakata Pillarbug gains lifelink. We put a +1/+1 counter. Okay. A land. So in this case, we need to leave up all of our blockers. We know that they have an Oval Chase Daredevil in hand because they returned it when they played the Eager Construct. So, is there any point for us to play this land? The Renegade Freighter does block. So let's just pass the turn. And we can put up to 3 counters on Long Tusk Cub if we need to. Attacking with everything once again. So let's crew the Renegade Freighter. If they have a removal spell here, we are probably out of luck. Harness Lightning. Okay. So we block everything. Perhaps that was a mistake. Not quite sure what just happened. But let's attack with everything. And pass the turn. Let's put the +1/+1 counter on the Long Tusk Cub. Since the Scrap Heap Scrounger can't block, there is less incentive for me to put the +1/+1 counter on it. We know they have an Oval Chase Daredevil in hand. Ambitious Aetherborn. Okay. So if they make a 1/1, we can kill it. They return another Oval Chase Daredevil. Can we win next turn? They can block 1 creature. I believe we can. So what we're going to do is we're going to Subtle Strike, doing both of these things. -1/-1 on the Servo, +1/+1 on the Scrap Heap Scrounger. And then we will Fabrication Module another +1/+1 counter onto the Thriving Rhino. And then we attack with everything. They can block 1 creature. And the opponent scoops it up. All right, we'll see you in round 2.